it has been a very manual labor up until this point, where operators are using multiple tools to, in this case, manage a flight. That could be on Post-it notes, it can be on Excel spreadsheets, it can be on emails, etc. Or what we're doing is really putting all of these different elements into one platform. Well, my name is Filip. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Flex. Flex is the leading web and app-based aviation management platform catering towards the business aviation industry. And we have a platform that allows charter operators, corporate flight departments, medevac operations, cargo operations to really manage the A to Z of their operation. And we help them with a platform to finish each task in very simple ways in order for them to work more efficiently, have full visibility of their operation at all time, and at the end of the day, being the partner along their operation so that they can succeed in their business. Flex is based out of Vienna, Austria, where our headquarters is located. We are 50 people around the world currently in Asia, in Europe, and in North America. And yeah, that's what we are doing, and be happy to give you a little bit of insights to how we go about solving our challenges in our sector. Yeah, very happy to be here.
Really cool, really cool. Obviously, we discussed before when we initially met a little bit about your product, and one of our partners is actually connected professionally with you. So I have a little bit of understanding a bit more. But tell me, how those aviation companies are doing things before they engage with you usually. Like, what is the biggest, transformation? What is that biggest change that you bring? What are you replacing? Is it a different software? Are they still spreadsheets? Is it more manual processes? Talk me through that, please.
Well, I think the business aviation industry, it's quite a traditional industry by default. It's been around for quite a few years. And as in any industry, you get into different habits of adapting certain things that work for you. And there are thousands of companies, operators around the world. They, of course, go about their business the way they think is the best for them. It has been a very manual labor up until this point, where operators are using multiple tools to, in this case, manage a flight, to sell a flight, to manage a flight, to dispatch a flight. And that could be on Post-it notes, it can be on Excel spreadsheets, it can be on emails, etc. And what we're trying to do, or what we're doing, is really putting all of these different elements into one platform so that you, as a user of using Flex, you don't have to leave the platform. You can manage your entire operations from one single source of truth, and that's what we are replacing. So the replacement of multiple different items are now put into one platform, and that's where we add value at the end of the day.
Super cool, super cool. I just visualized, the state of the engine, if it has been checked, just as a little post-it note somewhere, and I could have shivered. But obviously, it's not going to be. It's not going to be very for as important things. Maybe it's some other things, the amount of meals that they need for something on a spreadsheet. I can completely visualize this.
Yeah. And you have to remember, it's not only the aircraft that needs to be managed, but it's the internal people working for the operators, the crew that have different kinds of certifications and are able to work on certain aircraft, etc. That have different qualifications to contribute to the operation. That means that overview is extremely important for the operator to not only manage the aircraft, but the crew, and then all of this, and then all the passengers as well that they're serving. It's a lot more easy to have one platform to have the overview and the oversight, and thereby providing a better service to the end client.
Yeah, I can just imagine how complex and how many moving parts there is, right, through passengers, to crew, the meals, the technical, the distance, fuel, and obviously all sorts of different moving parts that you're just combining all together. Are those companies then buy and they go for the full package and they want to, organize everything in that one platform? Or do you have maybe a component that is more attractive, that it's the easier to sell, particularly one side of that complex operation?
Sure. I mean, our core platform serves as the foundation. So you can manage your entire operation on this platform. However, there are operators that require different kinds of solutions along the way. We are the most connected platform in the market when it comes to integrations. So thereby, the operators are able to connect externally to other services that we are pulling in through our API into the platform, whether that's catering, transportation, hotels, fuel, you name it. So there's a lot of requirements along the way that are added to the platform. So that's certainly one thing. You have a lot of operators that are looking for reports and data availability, and that's something that we have also added to the platform. We have a very strong business intelligence tool that serves as you can get insights on pretty much anything into your operation. So it gives the dispatch team certain information that they need to be aware of. It gives the management team KPIs that you can follow there. So you can draw a lot of conclusions of your operations through this business intelligence tool. So yes, we're constantly adding new products to really lock you in, not in a negative way, but really giving you an ease of mind that you don't have to look externally for services, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And that's why I actually really love about products like your product. That it is a very, the core service and product and your offer is there. And everything else that your individual client will need can be connected by API, right? Also, we communicate with those people via WhatsApp. It's not a platform. Yeah, it's probably doable, right? It's just finding a way of connecting the API. And that's why I absolutely love about automation. And essentially, that's why we started focusing on this, right? Because a lot of companies don't even know the power of this, right? They are set in how they've been doing for the last 10, 20 years, and they think this is the way. And as marketers, salespeople, bringing that innovation, have an opportunity to educate them. Look, there is a better way, right? Less mistakes happen. It's quicker. It's cheaper, right? It's more efficient. It makes everyone more happy. Great. Talk me through how long you've been with the company, and maybe your beginnings or company beginnings. How did the company found that there is a gap in the market and there is a need for this service?
Right. So Flex has been around for now nearly 15 years. It started as an idea to cater towards a part of the industry. It was an flight optimizer that was developed. But Flex soon realized that there was a need for a full-fledged scheduling platform. And through that, Flex started to build this platform, and not only building it the way we thought it needed to be built, but really including the industry in building the platform, really getting inputs to what is needed. And through all the input that has been received throughout the years, it is the platform it is today. Of course, we have an idea where we want to take it, but we also are extremely open to receiving input from the market, what is needed, and then evaluating whether that makes sense for only one client, for example, or multiple clients, and then bring these ideas on board. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey because the industry itself had big resistance to change in terms of software. As I said, it was quite traditional before. And, at the end of the day, people are used to working the way they've been working in the past. We're all humans, and stability, I think, is a core element of feeling calm about things. And all of a sudden, if you're then faced with having to adapt something new, there's a lot of fear that comes up. And that's also one of my areas within marketing, to really translate what we, and not only the benefits, but also what we can help with along the journey of transitioning from A to B, and everything that needs to be done in that journey. So it was interesting. A while back, we did a survey with operators, and cost was, I think it was 20% of why they would not change the software. The fear of resistance. Yeah. It was not about cost. It was predominantly about the changing, the fear of change. We oftentimes speak to clients where we get one person that is really, really exciting about what we have to offer. But then you have maybe 20 other people that you need to convince and then show the benefits of going from A to B with the new software. And that's where we in marketing comes in, to really don't do a sales pitch towards why they should adapt the new software, but really showing them that we are a partner in their decision making. And what we're doing is setting them up for long-term growth and stability. And there's many ways we can do that. We look at showing proof of concept from, not proof of concept, but showing proof from the industry, how others are doing it. That gives some assurance to companies. When you are laying out the path for them, how we go about onboarding them, migrating their data, about system stability during the switch, etc. That's our job to really translate that into really tangible and understandable terms so that we ease their minds. Look, at the end of the day, I think it's about feeling that you are in good hands with a software provider. And it's our job from a customer success perspective, from a sales perspective, from a key account perspective, to really enforce that partnership and make them feel that they not only can we do this together, but we're building this together, and we will stick with you along your journey with us as long as we possibly can.
Yeah.
It's B2B and B2C is very, very different. Come from, on one has had many years in the B2C industry where retention and loyalty is very, very quick. It's like you have a TV subscription, and just because there's a promotion down the road, you go after that. And so it's very, very quick-lived. Whereas I think a lot of B2B companies, it's about these long-term relationships and really, building trust along the way, because it's a big endeavor to change software, regardless of industry, regardless of product. And that adaptation and that adoption is where we play an important part in that decision.
I totally agree with you. Obviously, that's what we specialize in. And I hear it so many times. The cost is not the number one factor, because the experienced COO, let's say, will know the long term, it will save them money. So is the question, do they have maybe money up front to invest into this? Everyone knows that is in the industry and knows a little bit about automations and actually accurate tools to optimize something is going to help them. But the problem of transition, right? Changing, okay, but Filip, how we do this, it works, and it has been working. It has worked for many years, right? Maybe there are better ways, but it works for us. And to bring something completely new, and especially software, right? Because then it's like, oh, but Janet, it's not very good. It's been already difficult to set her up on these systems, right? Or with IT, and to really prove to those prospects that the software, it's not difficult to operate, right? And the transition takes 3 months, 6 months, right? And everyone's going to be trained, and everyone's going to really enjoy working in this. It is very, very, very difficult. New software, it always has got that, that objection. There is a new software, right? What is it, if someone is not...
What's in it for me? Yeah, what's in it for me? What?
Yeah. And pushing that to other people as well, for the whole team, changing the whole routine. It's difficult even as a person to change your routine about one thing. And just imagine you changing routine of the whole company, how they operate. Very complex scenarios. So it's always the same. I hear very often the same thing, that it's very difficult. Very often I find there's either someone new coming to the company, right? Or, for example, right, finances changed. They need to reduce the staff by 20%, but they need to find a replacement of, right, who is doing this. And automation, it's a fantastic way to wedge in then, right? Awesome. Talk me through how, because from our experience, it's all is down to, can I just educate you, right? What is possible? Because people are not aware. What's been working for you to start those conversations, having, building this relationship, having opportunity to educate your prospects about how other companies are doing? Because I think that's actually unlocking the most conversations, like, hey, can I show you how your competition are doing this, right? Especially if that's your client and you have a permission maybe to bring that case study. But what's been working for you in terms of marketing for starting those new conversations and opportunities to educate prospects?
Absolutely. I think we took a stance towards that 2 years ago and looked at, there's one thing to sell you something. So the sales team goes in and they sell you a product and they convince, and it ticks all the boxes. Okay, it's fine. That's all great. But what happens then at that point? So we found it to be very useful to introduce our customer success team at a very early stage, and not just hand them over, but having the customer success team or person be almost not part of the contracting, but be introduced at a very early stage so that they are aware of a lot of conversations that are being held at the beginning, so they can take these concerns perhaps with them along the way. You then transition onto onboarding, and where the customer success team is then very much hands-on. And what we then also realize that a lot of times customers, they do the onboarding. And I think a lot of companies also do that. You do the onboarding, and then that team says, everything is done. We've done it. We've ticked our box of we've onboarded the customer. Next to, let's move on to the next one. But there is a really key period after onboarding where hypercare is very much warranted. And that's where we believe we can add a lot of value in the beginning, because they're still uncomfortable with this new software. We might have answered all the questions, but there's a lot more questions being held, and we can't just leave it to them and say, well, there you go, and then off you go, and we can answer questions along the way. So we really take this opportunity where there's 4 or 6 weeks that we really work with the clients. We do regular check-ins. Is everything okay? What can we work on? Is there anything not clear? It's not about solving problems, but it's just giving them the confidence and that we are there for them as they're adapting this new thing. So it's we had a shift 2 years ago, and it's proven to be very, very beneficial, not only for the user, but also for us, because we learn a lot of things along the way, how we can then adapt our approach down the line. I think one of the interesting parts is it depends also in what regions you're doing your onboarding and your customer care. There are different expectations depending on the cultures. In some countries in Europe, it's perhaps a little bit more quicker. It's maybe a little easier to do an onboarding. Maybe people don't want to have that much nurturing. Whereas in North America, it's almost expected that you're there to have someone on call for the first weeks and really that. And we learned quite quickly that was necessary in order for us to instill that trust and give them the ease of mind. That's a very different approach, and we also had to adapt based on that.
Absolutely.
But introducing someone to talk to, an account manager, like a customer success manager, along that stretch of onboarding and then afterwards has been very good for us and good for the client.
Yeah, I love this strategy. I always say the first 100 days with a new partner, right? It will determine how they see you. If you're going to really give them extra care for the first 100 days, down the line, they're going to have permission to say, Filip, we've got a problem like this. They're not going to feel bad about this, right? Because you set those standards for the first 100 days. And that 100 days gives you plenty of time to really actually now use this active time with your clients to set everything up, right? And get those bottlenecks out of the way very, very quickly. So hopefully they not only set up much better, but they have this peace of mind that if I contact Filip or his team, I'll get the answer, and that's no biggie, right? I can just do it whenever I need to, and that's what you want, right? As a company bringing some solutions,
and also from a market, right? And also, where can we help in that journey? We need to equip not only the sales team with good documentations, with clear propositions of what the client gets, but also customer success. Whether it's videos, whether it's tutorials, it's a full-fledged knowledge base that is available, just so they have enough touch points to not feel alone. And then that's where we come in as a marketing team to really partner up with our internal stakeholders to give them the tools that they need to
really awesome. But you also mentioned that in your prospecting, in your sales process early on, you act as consultants. So you bring you start that relationship this way, right? Did I understand it correctly? That you try to not just say, hey, we got software, do you want to buy it, right? It's more, does it make sense for you to start looking at those things? What could this mean for you, right? And so that if that's true, I really like this strategy. I'm a big fan of just being, hey, if you're going to be prospecting, you being a consultant to your potential clients, right? Yes, it costs you a few hours of time, maybe expensive person in the company. This is the best investment you can make, right? Because you start this relationship. Yeah.
No, so absolutely. This consultative selling, and even if the prospect doesn't choose your software, you at least created a rapport with that account, with that person that knows you having that, they know that that was your approach, and they felt very comfortable in that. So whether they don't choose you now because it wasn't the right time or the right fit, in half a year's time, all of a sudden you've already established that relationship, and that helps you, or helps us a lot to re-engage with them. So, if you just need to leave positive impressions along the way. It's difficult. It's hard work, but it's necessary. And especially in our industry, that is a very small industry in terms of size. You have a lot of passionate professionals, the aviation industry, and how they're passionate people that work in this industry, and people know each other, right? You go to the trade shows and you know a lot of people, and they're all switching companies, etc. So people know each other. So you'd be silly not to leave a good impression here, because that will then, if you don't leave a good impression here, it'll backfire maybe 6 months, months down the line at a show, because they had a bad experience with you. So you have to be very aware of how you approach it. We have an awesome sales team that can really create that rapport, and it shows in our growth as well, what we've experienced in the last few years. So
That's amazing. Yeah, and I love this approach. And you're absolutely spot on. Just because they're not ready to buy now, if they are next year, something changes, right? Maybe the management changes money. Maybe they started thinking about this innovation, optimizing a few processes. You're going to, as a company, going to be the first company that they're going to reach out to, right? Because you've already spent a couple of hours. And it always happens. It always happens. Yeah.
Sure.
Tell me about I can see now why you're growing, why it's working, why you're expanding, and you have obviously resources to now expand product and really look into what those people really need. Is there something that you're finding in your marketing sales process that you would like to improve, that's not working, maybe has worked before and now it's a little bit more difficult? Which part of that sales funnel, from prospecting all the way to onboarding, you find the most challenging right now?
Yeah. What we're selling is not really attractive, right? It's software at the end of the day. So how can you package that in a way? How can you put that forward in a way that resonates with an audience? Yes, we're in the B2B space, but we're not selling to business. We're selling to people, and the people make the decision whether they're going to adapt the software. We have moved away from being, just feature driven and just benefit all this feature and software. Yeah. That kind of approach for marketing doesn't really work. I mean, it works every once in a while. You need a good mix of hygiene content that is always on. But for us, it's about translating and creating a rapport with the user and put ourselves in the shoes of the user to catch them where they are and be able to communicate the solutions that we have within Flex so that it can resonate with them, that we really at least try to align where they are, because speaking to a dispatcher is very different to speaking to a CEO of an operator or a director of flight operations. So that's where it's really important to understand the buyer's persona, understanding what, for lack of a better word, pain points that they experience, and try to level with that, and thereby translating what we have into something that makes sense for them. So that's approach that we didn't have before. And we've really moved towards that, and that has helped as well. So yeah, but it's an ongoing thing. You're never done, and you can always improve these things, but that's certainly one thing that we focused on. And it's all about people. It's not about the software and this button here and that button there. It's about having a natural conversation from a marketing side with the audience. Mm-hmm. It just sticks better.
No, completely get that. Okay. Is that with this is, for the next 12 months, it's some new approach that you're trying, right, in terms of maybe digital traffic content or something that you have in plans to get, to attract more people into that pipeline, call it, right? Or funnel where you just can start those conversations, either, as you said, with champions, dispatcher, or actually decision maker. They'll have completely different, hopefully they're aligned on the same goals, but completely different challenges and problems that they want to solve, right? Is there something in the next 12 months you're trying as a new initiative or a new source of leads as a company?
Well, we have yes, but we have an approach to, we have a strong focus on North America as a target market, being the biggest market for business aviation in the world. So the aim is to really go all in North America, looking into other countries of Australia, whether it's Brazil, etc., to really introduce our brand in a way that catches them at their level. What we are focused on is this personal relationship. So we are very strong in trade shows. We visit a lot of trade shows that allows us to really have that one-on-one conversation with prospects, meet our existing customers on these two, whether it's ironing out some problems or just giving them the assurance that we're there, we're on the local market to support them. But we really been looking into optimizing our lead generation through better SEO, but also making use of HubSpot as a platform to really automate a lot of the outreach, and really make use of the marketing function in HubSpot, because there are a lot of functions in there that allows you to have immediate information of the actions that you're taking. So all the social media goes out through HubSpot, and we're trying to really, funnel that into the website where we're able to portray and create storyline that resonates with certain types of prospects. So we're really focusing on talking to the director of flight ops. We're really focusing on talking to the dispatcher. We're really focusing on the CEO conversation. And everyone needs to find themselves on this platform that and information that resonates with them. So that's something that we're really trying to do now. We're in the process of revamping that as we speak. It's going to be an interesting feedback to see what that brings, to have a different presentation and a different portrayal of our solution and how that can help certain parts of the operation. So that's going to be an interesting part for sure.
Awesome. I wish you all the success, and hopefully someone that have listened to this, if someone is interested, where could they find you online if they want to find out a little bit more about the system software? Maybe find you or someone from the sales team. Where could they find you, Filip?
You can simply log on to www.flex.com, and Flex is written with a 3. That is flight level 300 for all the aviation geeks out there. But it's flex.com, and there you can find very easy contact information. And we're very quick at answering you. So if you contact us, we can start a conversation very quickly.
Awesome. We'll leave the link below here for anyone that is interested. Filip, thank you very much for joining me and sharing about you, about the company, about your marketing and prospecting and challenges. I really appreciated this conversation. It was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pete.